Welcome to Hypnotic Talk with Miri and Neota, where we discuss all things hypnosis. Our individual practices have evolved into different specialties over the years, but we've remained connected through our mutual love of hypnotic healing. So we meet here and we share some knowledge and our stories from our professional practices. And this week, we are going to be talking about the results of hypnosis, the experience and the results, and the managing the magic expectations.
So Neota, you have like a couple of really good stories. Maybe you want to start with them.
I will, yeah. So when you tell people that you're a hypnotherapist, straight away they say, oh, you help people with quitting smoking. And or they say, oh, will you make me cluck like a chicken? So I guess those are the cultural expectations of hypnosis. And it's just so much more than that. It's so much more than that. And it is like the quitting smoking. We can help people quit the habits that are, unhealthy or blocking them in their lives. So, but it's the side effects from it are, because you can get Champix or you can get the quit smoking drugs, and the side effects from that are really can be quite horrific. The dreams and things like that people report. Whereas my quit smoking client contacted me and she said, one of my quit smoking clients contacted me after our session and she said that all of her post-concussion syndrome symptoms were gone. She had been dealing with them for a year or more. And after so it was a side effect of hypnosis is clearing up some of those other issues that are unpleasant. And it's so funny. Sorry, Mary, did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
It's so funny that hypnosis is such a subtle and natural experience, like people, like I said, my own self, I didn't recognize a state of hypnosis for quite some time. And still sometimes I have full-on reactions and sometimes it's very subdued, but I'm so familiar with it now. I recognize hypnosis, but people will not understand the power of what it does because it's not Shazam experience. And so I will, talk to clients after the fact and they'll be like, well, I don't know if it's from the hypnosis, but exactly the thing I came to see you about, it happened. For example, I had a friend who came to me for a session and we worked on weight loss. She'd had some twins and, it was taking her a long time to bounce back. And she wondered if I could help her. And I said, of course I can. That's what I do. So we did a session and it was lovely and everything. She, didn't really report much afterwards. But then a few weeks later, we were at the park with her twins and, we were having a little visit and I commented to her how fit she was looking. Like she was really, it was noticeable. Her body was becoming more fit. And she said, I joined this program and it's so easy this time to follow the diet. And I'm really in love with this thing. And so we were talking and then she said, I just can't believe how easy it is now. And I said, oh, do you think it was easier after we did the hypnosis? And she was like, is that how it works? I said, yes, that's how it works. It's just those little tweaks and wiring that makes your goals easier to achieve. It makes your behavior easier to modify. It gives you more control over the thing that has been outside of your control. So now you tell me a story, Miri, about something that.
Yeah, for me, it's more like about quit smoking, of course. Like,
Right.
Can you make me stop smoking? Can you make me? And also, so you control my mind.
Right.
And of course, we don't control anything, but we can influence in a way based on what you want us to do, you know, based on the goal that you come in mind. And when, like, I keep some of my clients' cigarettes here. Like, I have, oops, excuse my reach. I have like a box full of uh, cigarette stuff. But, you know, it's not that I'm making them stop smoking. It's just that for them, it's connecting to who they really are and being that person that they want to be, and they already are, discovering this person that they want to be. It's the connection that gives them the, or allowing them to stop smoking. So one of my stop smoking clients, and I don't do much stop smoking nowadays, but one of my stop smoking clients, she was 78 or 7 when she came to see me, smoking for so many years, 3 packs a day. And she wrote to me an email after that. It's like Mother Mary or something came to my kitchen and set up a teapot for me, that I don't really want to smoke now. And it's, again, it's nothing that you and I do. It's how we guide them to see who they really are and what the soul or spirit is desired to do. And
Yeah.
but sometimes what I want to say with that is, sometimes when someone is coming to us, and not specifically for smoking, but mostly I see it with pain and sleeping, and they come after long time of being in pain or with some sleep issues, and they come here and they have their own balance. They created their own internal balance with the problem, with the issue. And then we touch on something, and I think you
Yeah.
and I talked about it. We touch on something on emotional level, and this balance is being shaken. And after that, they might feel different, and not always in a good way. Something is changing internally, but after a while, it's like they created a new internal balance, and things
Yes.
are getting much, much better. So it's, you know, it's how you get used to hypnosis and how you are willing to accept it, accept the change, not the hypnosis, but accept the change. Hypnosis is
Yep.
the tool, basically.
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, like sometimes as things are changing, they will get worse before they get better. But the
Yeah,
change is happening. So, and you know, we can't predict how long it's going to actually take someone, or we can't predict, you know, like how many sessions or exactly what the journey will look like, because it is different for every person. But we can say we know how to address those issues inside of you. We know how to help your subconscious mind achieve the outcomes that your conscious mind wants, that your
right.
heart wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to your story, you know, sometimes when I used to work more with weight loss or weight management issues, then they would come to me and say, yeah, I don't eat that much. And then you send them home and you just ask them to be witness to their own processes, to see what's happening. And they come back and say, actually, I do eat a lot. Actually, I'm not paying attention to what I
Yeah.
eat. And I do eat lots of sweets. And the session after, like the second session, usually, you give them some suggestions about the way they eat. And again, it's very subtle. It's not very noticeable. It's very, very like subtle, all those
Yeah.
suggestions. And they go
Yeah.
home. And then the next time we meet, they come and said, I don't know what happened. I just didn't want to eat that.
I know.
Okay.
I know. It's so funny that there's sometimes a little blockage of attributing it to the actual process of hypnosis, because it doesn't feel like bang. It feels like,
Yeah. So there are different, I think it's different issues that we expect to see different interim results, I would say. For example, I work a lot with chronic pain. And
yes.
with chronic pain, I see that after the first session, there is something different, not always positively different,
Yeah.
but something is happening. And then when they come to the second session, everything is changing for the best.
Yeah.
I mean, it can take more than 2 sessions, of course, but
Of course.
the positive change starts from the second session after they let this shivering pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that with anxiety, for example, from my experience, I don't know how you experience it, but with anxiety, people come and right from the first session, they can experience much calmer state
Yeah.
and being able to stay in the present and just witness their anxiety rather than be in the anxiety. So this is another thing that is really nice to do with hypnosis, like to treat with hypnosis or to manage with hypnosis.
Yeah. I remember a young client, like a young adult, I would say. And when she came for her first session, and I just helped her with a relaxation and then just some gentle suggestions, post-hypnotic suggestions for, and right at the conclusion of the session, she said, I didn't know I can feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes what I noticed, I had a client who didn't even breathe correctly. And when we started with just breathing, he told me, it's so foreign to me. I don't know how to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
And this feeling, this calm feeling, this relaxed feeling is sometimes for people who experience anxiety is so foreign and they don't know how to handle it, but they love the feeling. And this they can actually sense start from the first session, right from the first
Right
session.
from the first session.
Yeah, when we when we equip them with tools and techniques, and as well with hypnotic suggestions and hypnotic state, just for their own well-being. So anxiety is one of the best thing that anxiety management, of course, it's one of the best thing that hypnosis can help with, or hypnotic tools can help with. What
Yeah.
else do you find that hypnosis can help with?
Excuse me. What else do I find that? Ask your question again. Sorry.
What else do you find? What other issues do you find that hypnosis is good for?
Oh, Miri, the spectrum is so broad. Like it's anything that is inside of you but outside of your control. So, I don't have a particular niche of, clients. Like I'm not the quit smoking hypnotist. I'm not the insomnia hypnotist. I help people with everything. And so I'm helping people right now. For example, I have some clients that are trying to manage their diet for diabetes. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I have somebody that's working on their focus and intention. I have a client that is in relationship trouble that is addressing some issues and trying to work on some patterns that they have noticed present in their life, and we're resolving those to help that person be in a more fulfilling relationship. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So actually, I have a male and a female clients that are working on relationship issues, different, but ultimately to be in a healthy relationship, to keep their relationship that they are currently in separately. This is not a couple, but they want to save their relationships, but they want their relationships to be healthy. And you can only be as your relationship can only be as healthy as both participants. And so if people have old stuck baggage, the relationship can't progress to a more healthy place. And so I'm helping people with that right now. I have a client who I'm a professional singer that I'm helping overcome stage fright, which is so rewarding. And he's so lovely. So one of my relationship clients is a previous quit smoking client. And he said, if you help me quit smoking, you can help me do anything, And so that's why he came to me for a relationship issue. My stage fright client is, like I said, he's a professional singer. And my first thing that I helped him with was a really unique physical problem that he had with singing. And so he didn't believe in hypnosis, but he was out of options. He had tried everything else. And so he came to me and I said, well, of course I'm going to fix you. And so he bought into my confidence in it. And now I see him, he'll just phone me up and he'll be like, I found something else for you to help me with. And every time he says, I don't know if you're going to be able to do this one, but, and so he's like, he flies all over the world and he had a terrible fear of flying. And I fixed that in one session and he's like, I can't believe it. And he said, I don't know why I didn't trust you, but again, and he said, you didn't even mention flying. You didn't mention flight and resolved my issue. So I'm seeing him for other, like for now, the pre-show jitters and things like that, which now that we have this bond and this connection, he's like, well, I don't ever have to feel unpleasant about anything. If I don't want to feel jitters, I'll just call Neota and she'll
exactly
resolve it.
and it's funny because they come to us for one issue and then they feel better and then they come for others because I think because of the trust and the efficient of the results.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like like the singing issue he had to resolve because it was preventing him from progressing in his career, from even being able to go on stage anymore. So he had to resolve the physical issue. And he, like I say, he had been to he'd been to, I'm sorry, trying to be confidential about this. He had been to specialists around the globe. He had seen a specialist in France, trying to resolve his issue. And he came to me out of desperation because he had tried everything else. And so once we got that resolved, then he was like, well, I have this fear of flying. And he said it took him like 24 hours after each flight for the anxiety to leave his body. And so we did a session on that. And then he's like, so now he's seeing me, like I said, for his, first it was stage fright and we managed that. Now that's a pre-show, like he has decided to never have any discomfort because he knows that we can fix it.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's like, I don't have to feel this.
And they don't. He doesn't.
Yeah.
And I have more specific niches that I work with, medical hypnosis. So it's mostly for anxiety, for chronic pain, sleep, and infertility. But because they start with this, they often continue to other things. So yes, and then it becomes more general. But it's amazing how shifting or moving minds can change physical feeling.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I think that's the best thing, right? Someone who can't sleep for, I don't know, years is sorting out the sleep issue within few sessions, and then they know they can do much more with their life. So why stop there?
Exactly. Exactly. Once they realize what you can do with hypnosis, then they're like, sign me up, let's do this.
Yeah, but again, it's like, I think it's first, like we talked before, it's moving through it's all magic, and then it's mind control, and then see what it is for, like in reality. And it's like accumulation of tools and techniques and hypnotic suggestions and heightened focus
Yeah.
that you can achieve much more in your life and get results. But like everything, it's a process, and it needs commitment.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're right.
So one of the most interesting things that I was the pleasure to deal with, it was I started a weight loss club when we just finished school,
Right.
and it was beneficial for one of um, what I mean for more, but one of them wanted to do more, and so she came, and for her it was asthma. She was asthmatic, and in
Yeah.
one, like after we build the trust through the club and through some one-on-one session, it was the one session that we did to clear the asthma, and we never, like, we didn't know what's going to happen or what will happen, what would be the result.
Right.
But it was amazing to see how through the session her voice has become clearer and clearer. And then at the end, she told me, okay, I know I can run now.
I
Because,
love that.
yeah, but you know, it's again, managing the magic expectation. It was in one session, but it was after we already created something as a
Yes.
foundation.
Yes. And it's not like every asthma client that you see is going to have that exact result in that exact amount of
Absolutely.
time. But
Absolutely.
but once we've seen it, once we've experienced it and we know that it's possible, it's it's just amazing. It's amazing to me. I love what we do. It's our vocation, Miri, where our great passion and the world's great need meet.
Yeah. So what do you think the world needs now the
It
most?
needs us. It needs hypnosis.
No,
We all need
but
to get our subconscious mellowed out.
yeah, but like what issue is most pronounced now in the world from what you see?
Fear.
Fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Anxiety, fear,
Yeah.
uncertainty.
Anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. And with anxiety, oh my God, like I had very severe anxiety when I started, when we went to school together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, this was my first experience. Like it was a process, but
Yeah.
I can say now that it's never ever got back to the same level of what I used to experience before.
Right.
And now I have the confidence that I can help others, knowing what I know now with their
Yeah.
anxiety. So anxiety or fear, it's not a permanent condition.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's mostly how we see the world around us, how we interpret the situation around us. Um,
That's so true. That's so true. One thing I like to, an analogy that I like to give to my clients is it comes from circumstance and experience. Like your personality plays into your circumstance and the things that stick with you. So I always say if you have, because most of our stuff comes from our early childhood, right? Our personalities are formed by our third birthday, almost completed by our fifth, and all the way over by our eighth. So all of our, predispositions to things are from early childhood. Well, if you have a bus of 4 and 5-year-olds, and that bus is in some sort of, interaction, some sort of altercation, like where there's, horns honking and hitting the brakes and, some traffic issue, every one of those kids on the bus has a different experience of what happened, right? Some of them are like, what? Something happened? And others are like, we just had a near-death experience. And all of them are, entitled to that. All of them are correct in what they experienced. But the ones that have the anxiety that comes, that sticks with them through it, they don't need to keep it. They don't need to keep that anxiety, but it is genuine. Even though it's not the same experience as everybody else on the bus, they genuinely experienced it. And so in hypnosis, we can address that lingering anxiety that is like traumatizing their system and help them rewire it so that they're one of the kids who are like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have fear of flights as well. I got sick before flights, and
Yep.
I was very stressed during the flight. Every turbulence that we had, like it was the end of the flight, and the world. And then I met someone, a child, who experienced turbulences as if it's like a, roller coaster. He loves it. And so, okay, that's a very interesting way to look at it. But it's like, now I'm okay with flights. He still loves flights, and I wish he will continue doing that. But it's, it's how we perceive the reality, the situation around us.
Exactly.
And yeah, and since then I worked with many, many people on flights, because it's one of the things people are coming to see us. And yeah, and it's amazing how, it is uncertain. We cannot control everything, but we cannot control everything even when we are on solid ground.
And feeling anxious about it doesn't offer any control to the situation.
Right. And it's just being afraid of something that might happen in the future that we don't have control of, which we anyways don't have control of. So yeah, anxiety is, once you free yourself of anxiety, it feels so lighter.
Yep.
And I believe, like, I work a lot with infertility, as I said, and oh my God, so much anxiety in this area. And once those ladies are able to relieve the anxiety, their lives and their experience are so much better, so much easier, and
So
wonderful
much.
things are happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll leave some for the next time, I guess.
Yes. I have some more stories for next time. We can talk about other experiences we've had with clients and for ourselves.
Yeah. So thank you for staying with us, and we love to hear any hypnotic questions from you. So please subscribe if it's any interest for you, or maybe if it's tickling your curiosity. And until next time, Neota and Miri. Bye.
Bye.